guys, so today I have a haul for you guys. I've been saving up these books to make a video, and I have a couple here that are pretty new. I want to say I started this pile about 3 months ago, so let's go ahead and get into it because there's a pretty big stack here. There's about 10 books that I'm going to be hauling for you guys. The first book I got was Meet Me at the Lake by Carley Fortune. I read the first book by her, which was Every Summer After, and I absolutely loved it. It was like one of my favorite reads of that year, of that summer. So I wanted to give this one a try. This is about Fern has wasted far too much time of her adult life thinking about Will. She spent just 24 hours in her early 20s with the aggravatingly attractive and idealistic artist. A chance encounter that spiraled into a day-long adventure in the city. The timing was wrong, but their connection was undeniable. They shared every second, every dream, and made a pact to meet again 1 year later. Fern shows up, Will doesn't. At 32, Fern's life doesn't look at all how she once imagined it would. Instead of living in the city, Fern's back home, running her mother's lakeside resort, something she vowed she'd never do. The place is in Dice Area. Her ex-boyfriend is the manager, and Fern doesn't know where to begin. She needs a plan, a lifeline. To her surprise, it comes in the form of Will, who arrives 9 years late, suitcase in tow, and an offer to help on his lips. With Will may be the only person who understands what Fern's going through, but how can she possibly trust this expensive suit-wearing marriage? She seems nothing like the young man she met all those years ago. Will is hiding something and Fern's not sure. She wants to know what it is. But 10 years ago, Will rescued Fern. Can she do the same for him? So I'm not gonna lie, guys, I have not heard a lot of good things about this book. A lot of people have said that they loved Every Summer After, but this book kind of fell flat for them. So hopefully I will like it more than other people do. It sounds promising. I love the covers. The covers next to each other are so beautiful. And I don't know, this just sounds like an interesting story, so hopefully I feel differently. But every single person who has read this, like every YouTuber I've watched who has talked about this book, have said they didn't enjoy it, so hopefully that's not the case for me. Next, I'm so excited about this book. I am so excited to read this, I can't even contain it. Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I have heard so many good things about this book. It says, Anastasia Allen has worked her entire life for a shot at Team USA. It looks like everything is going according to plan when she gets a full scholarship to the University of California, Maple Hills, and lands a place on their competitive figure skating team. Nothing will stand in her way, not even the captain of the hockey team, Nate Hawkins. Nate's focus as team captain is on keeping his team on the ice, which is tricky when a facility's misshape means that they are forced to share a rink and the figure skating team, including Anastasia, who clearly can't stand him. But when Anastasia's skating partner faces an uncertain future, she may have to look to Nate to take her shot. Sparks fly, but Anastasia isn't worried, because she could never like a hockey player, right? That sounds so good. A hockey I don't know what it is about hockey romances, but they just hit differently. And first of all, I'm obsessed with this cover. The little cartoons are so cute. And I heard the spice is so good in this book, and I cannot wait to read it. Like, I'm reading it as soon as I finish this video because I've been waiting to read it, to haul it. But I think it's going to be super adorable, and I cannot wait. Moving on, I picked up Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert? I don't know if I'm butchering her last name. I am so sorry. But I heard a lot of good things about this book. This is about Bradley. Bradley is pretty much perfect. He's a star football player, manages his OCD well enough, and comes out on top in all of his classes, except the ones he shares with Celine. I can't say her last name. I am so sorry. They used to be best friends until Brad decided he was way too cool for conspiracy theory obsessed Celine and literally abandoned her for the popular kids table. At least that's how Celine sees it. These days, Brad hates her guts and the feeling is mutual. So when Celine signs up for a 2-part survival course in the woods, she definitely doesn't expect to find Brad right beside her. Forced to work together for the chance to win the grand prize, Celine and Bradley must trudge through not just mud and dirt, but their messy past. As this adventure brings them closer, they start to remember all the good parts of their history. But has too much time passed or just enough to spark a whole new kind of relationship? I absolutely love this. First of all, it's friends to lovers, my favorite trope ever. And the cover's adorable. I love cartoon covers. I think they're so cute, and it's pink. A pink book, you cannot go wrong with a pink book. And a lot of these books are pink, I've just noticed. But I am super excited for this book. It sounds super interesting, and they're like in the middle of the woods, like trying to win a grand prize. That sounds so interesting. I haven't read a book like that in a while. It sounds like it's like the Hunger Games, but way lighter. Like, maybe The Challenge or something, like the TV show The Challenge. Don't ask me, I've never even seen that show, but that's what it seems like. So I'm excited for this one. The next book I picked up is The Lucky List by Rachel Lippincott. Oh wow, I didn't notice this. Rachel was the co-author of 5 Feet Apart, and I loved 5 Feet Apart, so we'll see how we feel about this. I actually got this at Walmart along with these other books. I think I got I think I got all of these from Walmart besides the last two, but I basically picked this up because the synopsis sounded really good, so let me read it to you. Emily and her mom were always lucky. Every month, they take their lucky quarter and dominant Huckabee's heavily competitive bingo night. But their luck ran out 3 years ago when Emily's mom succumbed to cancer, and nothing has felt right for Emily since. Now the summer before her senior year, things are getting worse. Not only has Emily wrecked her relationship with her boyfriend Matt, but her dad is selling the house she grew up in, and he's invited Blake, his best friend's daughter, to help her give mom's things away. But that's when Emily finds the lucky list, her mom's senior year bucket list, buried in a box in the back of her closet. As Emily and Blake set off on a journey to accomplish each exciting, scary, even intimidating task, Emily begins to finally find a connection to her mom again, but she also feels a connection with Blake, one that she wasn't expecting. Suddenly Emily must face another fear, accepting the secret part of herself she never got a chance to share with the person who knew her best. So, I love books with bucket lists in them. I think they're very cool and interesting. So, I picked this up because there's a bucket list in it, and I just think that's such a cool thing to put in a book, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. And I love that it was her mom's bucket list from her senior year. I just love that connection. I think that's super sweet. And it sounds like this is a LGBTQ book, but I'm not certain about it. That's just what it sounds like. So I'm interested in reading that also. I don't think I've read a book like that, so that should be interesting, and I'm excited to get started. Moving on, we have The Upside of Falling by Alex Light. I've seen somebody talk about this book. I can't remember what booktuber it was, but this is a pretty short book. Yeah, this is only about 300 pages. So it seems like a fun, I love the cover. The cartoon covers get me. And this just seems like a fun, quick read. It says, it's been years since 17-year-old Becca Hart believed in true love. But when her former best friend teases her for not having a boyfriend, Becca impulsively pretends she's been secretly seeing someone. Brett Wells has it all. As captain of the football team and one of the most popular guys in his school, he should have no problem finding someone to date, but he's always been more focused on his future than who to bring to prom. When he overhears Becca's lie, Brett decides to step in and be the mystery guy. It's the perfect solution. He gets people off his back for not having a meaningful relationship, and she can keep up the ruse that she's got a boyfriend. Acting like the perfect couple isn't easy though, especially when you barely know the other person. But with Becca still picking up the pieces from when her world was blown apart years ago, and Brett just barely holding his together now, They begin to realize they have more in common than they ever could have imagined. When the line between what is pretend and what is real begins to blur, they are forced to answer the question, is this fake romance the realest thing in either of their lives? So this is a fake dating trope, which I love a good fake dating story. And it sounds like they're both going through their own stuff and I don't know why I said own like that. They're both going through their own stuff and it looks like they're going to help each other out. I can't wait to read this. I think it'll definitely be, this looks like I'm going to fly through this book because the page, like the words on the page are so big. So I feel like I would get this done in like 3 hours. So I can't wait to pick this up just for a fun, quick read. Next is a book that Destiny Sidwell has been talking about, and she's my favorite booktuber. She was talking about it a couple months ago, and I just never picked it up. This is The Dead Romantic by Ashley Boston. This looks super good. I think either she falls in love with a ghost or he falls in love with a ghost. It says, Florence Day is the ghostwriter for one of the most prolific romance authors in the industry, and she has a problem. After a terrible breakup, she no longer believes in love. It's as good as dead when her new editor, a too handsome mountain of a man, won't give her an extension on her book deadline. Florence prepares to kiss her career goodbye, but then she gets a phone call she never wanted to receive, and she must return home for the first time in a decade to help her family bury her beloved father. For 10 years, she's run from the town that never understood her, and even though she misses the sound of warm southern night and her eccentric loving family in their funeral parlor, she can't bring herself to stay. Her father's gone, yet something else feels the same and she hates it. Until she finds a ghost standing at the funeral parlor's front door, just as broad and prudently handsome as ever. And he's just as confused about why he's there as she is. Romance is most certainly dead, but so is her new editor, and his unfinished business will have her second guessing everything she's ever known about love stories. So this sounds like she sees a ghost, and I don't know, that didn't really give me much. It sounds like she sees a ghost when she goes back home for her father's funeral. I don't know. I don't know a lot about this book, which makes it even more intriguing to me to read it. I just know Destiny loved it, and it says it's a Good Morning America book club pick, so I feel like I like it, and anything Destiny says I go with because she's a queen walking. Next is Rock Bottom Girl by Lucy Score. I picked this up just because I just read Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, and man did I love that. So I was wanting to read one of her other books, and I absolutely love the cover also, but this is a thickum, so we'll see how it goes. Downsized, broken, dumped 38-year-old Marley sneaks home to her childhood bedroom in the town she couldn't wait to escape 20 years ago. Not much has changed in Culpeper, Pennsylvania. The cool kids are still cool. Now they just own car dealerships and live in McMansions next door. Oh, and the whole town is still talking about the homecoming she ruined her senior year. Desperate for a new start, Marley accepts a temporary position as a PE teacher and soccer coach. Can the girl band from all future Culpeper High homecomings keep the losing East girls soccer team in school history from killing one another and prevent carpal tunnel syndrome and a bunch of phone-clutching gym class students? Maybe with the help of Jake Weston, high school bad boy turned sexy good guy, the tattooed track coach, dog dad, and teacher of the year becomes her new fake boyfriend and alibi for a price. The deal? He'll teach her how to coach if she teaches him how to be in a relationship. Who knew a fake boyfriend would deliver such real... Alright, I'm not gonna say that word. But it's all temporary. The guy, the job, the team. There's too much history. Rock bottom can't turn into a foundation for happily ever after, can it? I did not expect that word to be on the back of the book. This book reminds me a lot of Bad Teacher, if you guys have ever seen that movie, just because it's the same, like, setting, I feel like it's the same humor too. They're always in a high school, and by the back of this book, it seems like this is going to be a pretty funny book. I also love that she's like a soccer coach and he's a coach also. I don't know much about soccer. My mom did play soccer, but that's about it. And I love that he was like a bad guy when they were kids and now he's a good guy. I think that's so interesting and I'm super excited to read this one. Next book that I got is We Can't Keep Meeting Like This by Rachel Lynn Solomon, and I've been wanting to get this book for a while just because I loved the synopsis. It says Quinn and Tarek's families have been in business together for years. Quinn's parents are wedding planners and Tarek's own a catering company. At the end of last summer, Quinn confessed her crush on him in the form of a rambling email, and then he left for college without a response. Quinn has been dreading seeing him again almost as much as she dreads another summer playing the harp for her parents' weddings. And when he shows up at the first wedding of the summer, looking cuter than ever after a year apart, they clash immediately. Tarek's always been a fan of grand gestures. The flashier, the better. The better? Okay. The better. Wow, Quinn can't see them as anything but fake. As her parents push her to take one more responsibility, she's thrown together with Tarek after often than she'd like. From performing a daring cake rescue to filling in for a missing bridesmaid and groomsman, Quinn can't deny her feelings for him are still there, especially after she learns the truth about his silence, opens up about her own fears, and begins learning the art of harp making from an enigmatic teacher. Maybe love isn't the enemy after all, and maybe allowing herself to fall in love is the most honest thing Quinn has ever done. So I really like this book just because it takes place in like a wedding setting, and I love books that take place in a wedding setting, and it seems like they have a lot of encounters together because both of their families work together, which also makes me think that their families get along already, which makes me excited. But I'm excited to see all the different weddings that they go through, and yeah, I'm excited for this one. Next are two books that I got from a flea market. Guess how much I paid for these? $2, $1 each. I was so excited. First of all, I got The Best of Me by Nicholas Sparks. I've been trying to get all of Nicholas Sparks' books just because he's like the king of romance. It says, The Best of Me. In the spring of 1984, high school student Amanda and Dawson fell deeply in love. Though they were from opposite sides of the tracks, their love for each other seemed to defy the realities of life in the small town of Oriental, North Carolina. But as the summer of their senior year come to a close, unforeseen events would tear the young couple apart, setting them on radically different paths. Now, 25 years later, Amanda and Dawson are summoned back to Oriental for a funeral. Neither has lived the life they imagined, and neither can forget the passionate first love that forever changed their lives. Forced to confront painful memories, the two former lovers soon realized that everything they thought they knew about themselves and the dreams they held dear was not as it seemed. And in the course of a single searing weekend, they will ask of the living and the dead, can love truly rewrite the past? So I have watched this movie and I absolutely loved this movie. So I'm excited to read this book just because I'm excited to see what details they took out of the book for the movie and what they left out, because usually there's a lot more detail in books, so I'm excited to see that. I absolutely love this story. Another reason I got this book is because I love getting books from yard sales, because there is a little like note in the back of this. It says, go to baggage claim to the Royal Caribbean. So this book went to the Royal Caribbean, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know, I'm weird. I thought that was pretty cool. I love when there's little notes. I think it's pretty awesome, so we'll see how this one goes. Moving on to the very last book I got. It is Firefly Lane by Christine Hanna. And I know this is a Netflix series now, but I don't think anybody liked it. I've never seen it, but I've heard a lot of bad things about it. But I wanted to get this story because I think this book is about two best friends. Spanning more than 3 decades and playing out across the ever-changing face of the Pacific Northwest, Firefly Lane is the internationally best-selling story of two women and the friendship that defines their lives. This exceptional novel has struck a chord in women around the world. In a way, it is the story of all women, of who we are and what we care about and how much friendship matters. In the turbulent summer of 1974, Kate has accepted her place at the bottom of the 8th grade social food chain. Then, to her amazement, the coolest girl in the school moves in across the street and wants to be her friend. Tuli seems to have it all: beauty, brains, and ambition. On the surface, they are as opposite as two people can be. Kate, doomed to be forever uncool with a loving family who mortifies her at every turn. Tuli, steeped in a glamour and mystery, but with a secret that is destroying her. They make a pact to be best friends forever by summer's end, and they've become Tuli and Kate, inseparable. For 30 years, Tuli and Kate are there for each other, weathering the storms of friendship, jealousy, anger, hurt, resentment. They think they've survived it all until an unexpected betrayal tears them apart and puts their courage and friendship to the ultimate test. I think this is going to be really good just because I have a best friend. Her name is Amanda, and we have been best friends for, I want to say, like 15 years or so. And I love books about friendship because I think I'm going to relate to a lot of things they say in this book. A lot of the quotes I'm going to relate to. So I'm super excited to read this. I love books about best friends just because I can relate, and I'm super excited. So that is all for the books that I got for this. If I can even speak, I can't do two things at once, obviously. Stacking these books are really making me trip over my words. But this is all I got for this haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to read these, and I will let you know how it goes in my wrap up. And I did just make a TBR jar, so you guys will see that pretty soon, probably next month. But I will see you guys next time. Bye, loves.